Everyone thinks it won't happen to me until it does. I thought that until it happened to me. I've watched people go through bad times my whole life, and I've always pitied them so much because I just couldn't understand or imagine what it would be like to be in their shoes. How do they do it? How do they survive? Little did I know that one day I would be one of those people asking myself, how will I ever do this? How will I survive? Growing up, I lived in a nice house. My parents were fairly well off, and despite a few rocky patches, life was pretty sweet. Fast forward to September 2018, I sat down on my mom's hospital bed, and she proceeded to tell me the news that forever changed me and the way that I view life. My mom, my very best friend, had cancer. I felt like I had just been hit by a bus. I cried, I screamed, I begged, and I prayed. Those next few months were so brutal, but eventually my mom went into remission. Then, just months later, I received the news that my father too had cancer. And shortly after that, my mom's returned. At that point, I just wanted to give up. I wanted to bury my head in the sand and not face the reality of what I knew was ahead. Over that next year, so many things in my life were tested. My strength, my selflessness, my compassion, and definitely my faith. I felt so helpless, and although I knew deep down that that situation was completely out of my control, I still felt like I needed to do something. My dad got better, but unfortunately, my mom didn't. And so I started doing extensive research on alternative cancer therapies. I would stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning after working all day, sometimes 12-hour shifts. And I would read books, I would examine studies, and I would take notes. I had Zoom calls with doctors from all over the UK. We tried every therapy we came across, from metformin to cannabis oil to fenbendazole. And still, my poor mother was suffering. Her chemotherapy had failed, and I felt like I had failed her too. After a long and grueling fight, my mom went into hospice in March of 2021, and we lost her shortly after. I planned my own wedding and my mom's funeral in the same month. Going through this journey has been such a whirlwind of emotions for me, but it has also made me resilient. From a time of complete darkness, I am now growing into a new person and a new life of my own. I'm here today because of my bad times, as they have challenged me and made me realize that I have strength that I didn't even know existed. I often find myself questioning who I am now and wondering how that person was able to do it. How did I survive? I still really don't know the answer to that question, but I'm grateful that I did. I'm grateful for the person that I am today. I'm finishing school, I bought a house, and I'm gaining control of my physical and mental health. I'm smiling more and more every day. Life can be so unforgiving at times. It chews you up, spits you out, and tells you to swim. But I've learned that it can also be really beautiful. My hard times have given me my strength. I got through them. I'm still here. I survived.